So Wednesday night, Wednesday against Middlesbrough down at Hillsborough, a game that had been highlighted by the Sheffield Wednesday Supporters Trust as a game they were encouraging fans to boycott, to send a message to the owner. That was both pay on the gate customers and season ticket holders, an opportunity for them to really get involved in the protest against the ownership of the club. Now the argument is you've already paid your money, so what message is it sending him? And the message it's sending him by people not going to a game that they've already paid for is for next season. It's a message for them saying you are not guaranteed our money to carry on running this football club the way you have been doing. Now there was an image beamed onto the side of the stand yesterday, which was picked up by the news outlets as well. So again, it's spreading that message loud and clear to a wider and wider audience. And inside the ground, it seemed to be only a handful of fans in each stand. Now the official attendance, of course, will probably get chucked down at 20,000 or whatever, because I do believe it's actually AFL regulations that they have to account for season ticket holders even if they don't actually attend the game. But as a visual demonstration, I thought it was a very powerful message. So nobody turned up for that. And then to matters on the pitch, Henrik Pedersen obviously forced into changes. Even Olvarth got sent off on Saturday against Charlton Athletic. We managed to get an emergency long goalkeeper in. Olvarth's only suspended for one game, so we've got an emergency goalkeeper in for one game, Lumley. So he came into the side. A start for Ike Ugbo up front. George Brown apparently got a knock to the ankle. And Sean Fuzier coming in onto the sort of right-hand side in there. So the Wednesday team. Lumley in goal. Fuzier, Palmer, Iofa, Lowe and Amas. Midfield of Ingleson, Bannon and Valerie. And up front Ugbo and Jamal Lowe. Now I said in Charlton game, very important that Wednesday don't concede that first goal. And about 6 minutes with a goal behind, and I know it sounds daft after 6 minutes of a game, but I do feel like it had been coming in first 2 or 3 minutes. They made a really positive start, Middlesbrough. Ball worked down left hand side, cut back into the box, and Whittaker swept it home. From just inside 18-yard line, on he'd got nobody with him really. There were another couple of lads in there as well to put us a goal behind, and you always knew then it's going to be an uphill task. Wednesday players have given absolutely everything this season, but you do feel that there's a sense that they've got to score the first goal to win the game. Which I know that sounds obvious, but what I mean is you don't see Wednesday coming back from a goal behind to a winning situation at full time. And as soon as we went a goal behind, I was thinking, a draw would be a good result here. After the goal, spurred on even more by that, Middlesbrough came at us in wave after wave of attack. They were causing us massive problems, especially down that left-hand side. They were getting in time and time again down there. And equally, when they broke down the right, which was a bit, more sporadic, that diagonal cross into the back post again, exposing us down our right-hand side. They got a couple of chances in there. I can remember one that got headed back in, and Lumley's made an absolutely fantastic save from that head back in, and the half volley. And then Wednesday get out of jail with a penalty, and it was a penalty. It was absolutely nailed on. Back pass, Lumley takes a loose touch. Their lad nips in, gets ball away from him, and he swings a leg. He brings him back. You'll not see a clearer penalty than that all season. It's nailed on. The referee for me, I mean, obviously it's Wednesday. I don't want him to concede a penalty. But the referee for me sort of cedes responsibility for that, and I think that's something we're seeing more and more. I don't know if it's because of technology in Premier League and those sort of ideas watering down and earpieces and that, and linesmen. But the linesman on the side in front of the south stand, he's probably not got the best view. It's the other side of the pitch, but the referee still sort of looks at him. But when they played it back from a different angle from Leppin's Lane in, the referee's in a really, really good position. And I do not know at all how he's missed it. It's a nailed-on pen. And it's a get-out-of-jail-free card for Wednesday. And then that little bit of hope inside you ignites and you're thinking, that might be it. That might be the little bit of luck that we needed to go on and get a result here. They kept ploughing on. You've got to give them credit as well for the way that they played. You know, I wouldn't say they're a fantastic side, but what they do, they work as a unit. And when they were working the ball out wide, and like I said, they got down our left a lot. Our right, their left, sorry. The numbers they were getting in box, they were regularly getting 4 or 5 players in the box. I think a couple of times I counted 6 players they'd got in our 18-yard box when they were attacking. Whereas for Wednesday, at the other end, I thought Ugbo and Lowe were a little bit isolated. We were a little bit sloppy getting ball into them. And when we did get it up there, we weren't really holding it up there. And I think it actually showed. I know the young lads, Karamatri and Brown, but I think it actually showed what a miss they are in terms of that little bit of physicality they bring. You know, they're both two big, strong lads. They're only young, but they're tough as teak. You know, that's the old saying. And they do hold the ball up, and I felt like we missed a little bit of that. And then Lumley again, who apparently has not played it or started a league game, for best part of 2 seasons. 2 more brilliant saves before half time, and you just think, if you've got a goalkeeper that's getting you out of jail like that, it gives you that opportunity. Whenever it's at 1-0, it gives you that opportunity that you can get back in game, because you'll always fashion a chance at some stage. Ingleson, sort of just before half-time, he did really well, really hard work. A couple of times it took a sort of bad bobble, and he still managed to make the best of it and forced their keeper into a save. But we sort of got into half-time, and it was a chance to sort of reset, you know, a chance for Henrik to get into him. And I think to sort out the issues on the right-hand side, because they had exposed us a hell of a lot down that side of the pitch. And second half, you know, you could see that. I mean, the first 5 minutes of second half, Wednesday sort of did to Middlesbrough what they did to us in the first half. We pinned them right back in there. We were getting a lot of joy. Ironically enough, it was our turn to sort of expose them down the right-hand side. Lower bombing on from sort of that inside left centre half position. Amas was getting on, and those two especially linking really well with Barry Bannon, and Jamal Lowe was sort of going out there to the left hand side as well. Excuse me. And we were having a bit of pressure. I think the difference was the number of headers they won. I think by the end of the game they'd won something like 18 headers, and that was the difference. When we got to byline or put a deep crossing or whatever, they were getting their heads in there. There was one when Ugbo made a terrific run, actually. To be fair to the lad, he'd come in through the middle and then drifted back out and come back in. Really good run, intelligent movement, and their centre half just got in there really brave and headed ball away. And it was one of them where he probably knew we were going to get a bash on the head. So really brave defending. And they did that in second half, Middlesbrough. First half, they were getting numbers in, 4, 5, 6 players when they were attacking. Second half, open play, Wednesday really coming at them. And they were getting 6, 7, sometimes 8 men back in their own box defending it. And that's what confident teams do. They get numbers forward and they get numbers backward. And they did that. They were really solid at back. As games sort of, you know, came out at sort of 10, 15 minutes after half-time period, they started growing back into it, Middlesbrough. You know, they started getting a little bit more of the ball like they did in first half and dominating possession a little bit more. But Lumley stood up to everything. He was absolutely brilliant. What stood out for me today, and it's sort of an old-fashioned thing now, There were 2 or 3 times they put some really dangerous crosses into the box, and he's come out and caught them. You know, he's not punched them, he's not palmed them. He's come up nice and high with a big protective knee up in front of him, and he's claimed ball and caught it, and it's refreshing. You know, a little bit of old-fashioned goalkeeping, coming out and in bodies and clattering folks and catching it. So I was really impressed with that. But then some of his saves were magnificent. And as Wednesday were having more at ball in second half than first half, that is the worry. Because I actually, and I don't know, you might be the same, you might feel different, I worry more about Wednesday conceding when we've got the ball than when we sort of playing on counter, if you like. Now, we'd got to come out and attack because we were chasing a goal. But it does leave you open, and that's when the focus comes in, and people can lose that little bit of focus. There was a threaded ball through the middle there. Striker made a terrific run. It got through, cut inside, and another brilliant one-handed save. And I hadn't checked the stats because I've been quite busy. I actually did a live stream of the game. Got in late from work and did a live stream, so I've been busy with that. But he must have made, I would say, 7 or 8 really, really good saves. And as I said, he's in apparently for this one game and as an emergency. Well, I hope they could extend it. I really wish that there was some way they can extend it. Now, whether they can, I don't know. As I understood it, it's just in for this week because Alvarth's only got a 1 game ban. But if there was any way around that, I would love it if we could get him in. Because Charles being out sort of long term, to get an experienced player like that who's been out, and I think somebody said not played for 2 years in a championship game started, full of confidence, absolute self-belief. And that's the thing with goalkeepers, you can have technique, you can have ability, agility, you can have the physical stature and presence, but without a self-belief, if you doubt yourself at all in any way. And he's absolutely full of it. He's full of confidence. A terrific goalkeeping display. Easily my man of the match for Wednesday. So it's another defeat, which is tough to take. Henrik's got 2 days now to lift the lads ready for Oxford, which will be seen as a winnable and a game that we really need to win. But equally they will as well. Make no bones about it, Oxford will be looking at the fixture list and thinking, Sheffield Wednesday, but we can get a result against them. So that's going to be a tough game, but they're the games you've got to win against teams around you in table. So it could be a damp square, but it'll be a really good clash, and I hope it's the latter. And I hope we can take something from it. The 2 young lads not playing tonight, obviously Brown's got a bit of a knock on his ankle. I do wonder if Henrik's got one eye on the Oxford game. Now, you never send a team out to lose or to, think, we'll save these and win on Saturday, because football don't work like that. Sometimes you win the game you're not expecting to win and lose the one that you think you should win. But I do think he must have had one eye on that, and perhaps he's looking at the 2 young lads and saying they can cause problems to the Oxford side. So it'd be interesting to see if he recalls them too. And I don't want to say it's a huge game, because in a certain way I don't think there should be any pressure on our lads this season with everything that's going off, with the position we've been in the last 2 seasons on the pitch. And now with a hugely depleted squad that's lost experience in, the likes of Windass and Patterson and Smith, and the explosive energy of Gassama and Masaba, staying up's a huge ask. If we stayed up, that would be a tremendous achievement. So I don't want to put too much pressure on lads, but it is a big game, and the game against Oxford, I think, will sort of tell us. I think that will sort of tell us what the crack's going to be this season, because we have played a lot of teams out at top half of the table. To be honest with you, so far in our fixtures, we've had I don't want to say unkind, but we have had a lot of really tough games, and I think this will be more of a measure, realistically, of what we can sort of expect in terms of where we're finishing the table. There's one more thing with the game against Oxford I quickly want to talk about. Is obviously tonight they had a moment to remember Milan Mandarić, who came in and actually ran the club on a stable basis. Obviously recently passed away, and a chance for people to show respect on a Wednesday half, and it's a common sense decision, but common sense has been in very short supply, so it's really good to see that they will be repeating that for the game against Oxford. They will be repeating that so that supporters attending the game can show their appreciation in their own way and show their respects to Milan. So that is actually good work from the club. That's got to be applauded. I think a common sense decision. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I know it's only a short review by my rambling standards. I did do a live watch along, so if you're bothered, you can go and have a listen to that or a watch of that. I must warn you, like all my live streams, without the ability to edit them, it does get very distracting in there. There's lots of talks about cakes and pikelets and cheese and shaved knackers actually at one point, but they do go a little bit off topic. They do go a bit random tandem, So that's there if you want to watch it. I think that's about it. Oh, Danny Roll, he's tipped up at Rangers. Is that what last thing I'm going to talk about? We're going to do a separate video. Danny Roll at Rangers, odd appointment. I read a few things. They don't seem very happy to have him, do they? I saw one particular comment which made me giggle. A second-rate championship jobber. Very odd. So they seem to have decided they don't like him already. Although they all seem very impressed he wore a suit for his big reveal. I don't know why that'd be such an important thing. Maybe they just don't like tracksuit managers up there. Honestly, I was reading things. I've been really surprised how they seem to be against him. I mean, he's got a fantastic track record as a coach. And although Wednesday, relegation fodder in Championship, if they look at what he actually achieved from the position we were in when he joined, I think they'd realise he did a fantastic job. And I think if the stars align up there, I think in 6 months' time, they'll be saying, God, what a fantastic manager we've got here. Absolutely brilliant. But of course, Rangers brings a different set of pressures. So it'll be interesting to see how he does up there. I think he'll be a success, but there we go. Proof will be in the pudding. Yeah, that's enough for me. It's 1 o'clock, and it really is time for bed.